Hey guys, welcome to another session of Reading Between the Lines, or RBTL for short. This patch note episode is going to be a bit less in-depth than my usual, but we're just going to talk about a couple of things that are pretty important. Quality of life changes going forward. That changes the game. Technically, the next level of power creep, we'll be seeing it this week. So first things first, episode 3, chapter 7. I'm going to skip this because not important to me. It's great, but no, we're gonna get to this. So equipment substat modification update. I'm gonna call it substat rerolling. It's just quicker, and I've already been used to doing that for the past week or two. Perhaps one day I'll use the formal name of it, but yeah, just substat reroll. So the last time I talked about this, we didn't have a lot of details. I had a lot of questions. I posed a lot of questions. We went on a lot of assumptions, and at least a lot of the stuff is cleared now. So you have to clear Expedition 2 to receive the rewards. The way they have designed it so far: lesser modification gem you get from Expedition 2, greater modification gem you get from Expedition 3. Expedition 3 giving you greater modification gems is overall the best bang for buck, since you get the higher substats. I know that apparently there's a lot of people in the community saying that they should make it available for level 1, but in my opinion, for real, if you can't do level 2s even, there's no reason for you to be looking into the substat reroll system. Every single endgame player at this point would not have needed a substat reroll system to carry them as far as they have. And because, I mean, you really want to get to the end game as quick as possible. Do you really want to hinder your progress with a lesser, like a quote unquote lower difficulty thing to get like kind of like a lesser material in order for you to get a bit of substats back? I don't know. In my opinion, just do what you can with the lowest required gear and farm the end game hunts, and then get into a place where you can either have a lot of friends with expeditions that can do the expedition, or you yourself start building, or spend more energy on it. I know that's not the real answer to it, but if you need to hard grind it, that's still worth it, instead of wasting your energy on a lower expedition to get lower rewards and end up still looking like a pleb in terms of your gear, right? I have a lot of players always come into, hey, what can I do to improve? And I give them the tips, and I get it. Not everybody has access to the information. Not everybody has the, kind of like the progress route or path kind of laid out. But I'm telling you with my advice, not trying to be toxic, with my advice, that is the best way to do it. Again, keep in mind that every single endgame player at this point had never needed this system. So those getting this kind of like mid-game, or if you're near endgame, you guys really have a huge benefit already. In terms of like having usable heroes with usable gear, you're already taking away technically one of the RNG checks of getting good gear. So anyways, with that little rant aside, so players who have cleared Expedition level 2 before the maintenance period may need to clear it again. I don't know what that means in terms of like unlocking it. Are they saying like mainly need to do level 2 because you can't do level 3? So can you do a level 3 and still unlock it? That's kind of a weird question, but we'll find out. It's not super important. Eligible equipment is fully enhanced equipment plus 15, and that's it. That's the only criteria, which means that every single piece of gear can be thought of with this system. So the arena gear, the 88 arena gear, the 88 hell raid gear that drops and that you can purchase, all of them will fit into criteria of this new system. So I'm kind of salty that I sold a couple of my old 88 arena gear, but I guess if I really think about it, they all low rolled so badly that even changing one substat wouldn't have made it usable. So I guess I'm okay with it. But regardless, if you do have like really high rolled, let's say a crit damage neck with really high effect resist, maybe that's usable now. Maybe, I don't know. I guess you would exchange it for a flat attack or something like that. We'll find out. Or maybe HP or defense or something like that. Modification costs, there is gold cost to it. I mean, it's not cheap, especially those struggling with gold already, but you shouldn't be like, you shouldn't have that much gear that needs it yet if you're mid-game. If you're end-game, you're gonna have a lot, and if you're end-game, you have a lot of gold anyway. So in terms of the pricing, I think this is fine. Lesser modification gem is a whole other reason. I mean, there's 80,000 gold right there, but if you do it again with a greater, so basically what you can do in this system is that, let's say you wanted to exchange the effect resistance with the lesser gem right now, because you can't wait for it, right? You can't wait for it. You want that to be defense or something like that, or crit damage. But later on you get a greater modification gem. So are you gonna spend it double? So generally I would just advise people go straight for the end. Get the greater modification gem. Don't even bother with the lesser one. I don't even know why they even included it, but I guess it is for kind of like maybe mid-game players or newer players that can do it, but they want to reroll it anyway. Like they're desperate to reroll it. In my opinion, just because it costs that much gold, it's really not worth it. That's like telling me that you're gonna unequip a piece of gear and then re-equip a piece of gear onto 2 different heroes sharing the same gear, but you're gonna use it for every single guild war. Definitely not advised. That will definitely be a gold sink for you. Let's see here. Select the equipment you want, substat, and modify. Go to okay, yeah. So this tells you how. I think you look at the UI. It's pretty easy. We'll find our way, so we don't need to talk about that. Modification. So when you're modifying substat, the new substat will be displayed with the number of enhancements made to the original substats and the grade of the material being used. So 2 things that determines the overall substat, I guess, quote unquote, strength. So how high the substat goes is based on the number of rolls, so number of the enhancements made, not based on the roll itself. Okay, so it seems to be that seemed to be kind of clear from the previous time we talked about this, but this is, I think, even more so clear. And then the grade of material. So you don't want to go with the lesser one. If you can skip it, go straight for the greater one. I mean, that will always be the best bang for buck. But you get a variance of what substat you can get. We'll talk about that in a bit because they do explain it. So as you can see in the image here, we have 322 to 422. So that's a varying range that you can get. And this one got 326. So that's just right in the middle. Really good example. There's an icon now that tells you which substat is rerolled, and only that substat that you have rerolled can be rerolled again. You can reroll it into another substat or an identical substat, but you can't, I think it talks about here, yeah. So you can't force an equipment that doesn't have an innate substat, in terms of like, if that piece of gear cannot have attack, so armor, so chest piece, it usually can't grant any sort of attack, flat attack, or percent attack. You can't force it to do that. So I mean, that's pretty obvious, but we should, still note that in case players get the wrong idea of this substat reroll system. So yeah, once the modified equipment, other substats, once you modify a substat, like I said, so in this case the flat health, you can't modify any other one. So that icon there, that slot will always be the only one. So when you do this and you have, let's say, bruiser pieces are usually the easiest to kind of convert or modify to someone else. Just be careful of which subset you want to change. And this is what I was talking about before, that gear that is really good for this system is usually gear that would have 3 really good substats and 1 kind of like this could be changed. Once you get to a piece of gear with 2 questionable substats, that piece of gear, no matter if it's heroic, no matter if it's epic, it's got to be tossed out. Especially with this system now. There's absolutely no reason to keep a piece of gear that has 2 substats that are unusable. So once you see a piece of gear, let's say crit rate, crit damage piece of gear on, let's say, a speed set, and you yourself as a player, you never will use effect resistance. I know that there are some people who build DPS with effect resist, so that's why I'm saying you yourself has effect resistance and maybe, let's say, flat HP. Generally those 2 are kind of conflicting to DPS stats. It does depend on the hero you put on when it comes to flat HP, but that's just an example. Let's say you don't want to use that flat HP on, let's say, an Alencia. Rather you want percent HP, but then you have an effect resistance in there. So those 2 are going to, take away from your overall Alencia stats. So you do not want to invest in those pieces of gear anymore. So from now on, when you're getting gear, when you're crafting, when you're dropping, you do not plus 15 anything with 2 quote unquote conflicting stats. But I'll probably make a video, tips and change video, on just, how to select the gear that you want to start investing in terms of plus 15, because people have problems with charms and gold as well. So if you only roll good gear and you know how to spot it, then you're not gonna really run out of charms or gold. But I'll show that in my own video. since my account will actually reflect that teaching. Regardless, expedition level 2 modifier is the lesser one, and then the one is the greater. So yeah, expedition 3 right now, everybody's coming up with like the auto teams and, you know, getting all the friends ready. Is there anything else in here that is important? Oh yeah, so if you reroll a substat and you want to reroll it again, if it can't go lower than the original roll. So in this example is that if you swap crit chance to health and you got health 10%, and then you do another one because you're maybe hoping for a higher roll, and it becomes 9, it will still remain at 10%. So at least good thing is that you will roll the RNG, but you will never actually be deteriorating the gear. So that's important to know as well. Can't see anything else here. No, modification equipment, yeah, it's okay, it's fine. They have a new slot, so equipment core, when you're extracting equipment, it's in the same inventory tab, but now there's a double tab system. So the UI still very, very clean. Small gate, by the way, very good. Arena Skyward season begins. We're talking about that frame. So first time I might be interested in pushing for a legend frame. However, probably not the 4th to 30th. Maybe we'll start off low, maybe the 31st to 100. We'll see if I can do it. Mainly it's because like people have to kind of sit and farm, and I know a lot of the legend arena players are actually giving me a lot of tips. But I don't know, we'll see if I have the time, but kind of interested in getting a frame finally after so many years of playing. New story with that, of course. New unknown slate, very good. And then we got the crit set gear for this round. So the effect resist, like we talked about with the substat reroll, effect resist you can roll it into something else. Although it's crit set, it's not the worst. I mean, you can use it on F Maya, Champion Zerato, anyone who doesn't really need an immunity set. If you're end game, otherwise it can default to PvE, which will still be very usable. The helmet is very good. The chest is good. I mean, I'm looking at everything now with substat reroll in mind. Everything is good. With substat reroll now, everything can be good. So boot, you know, change the effect resist to crit damage. I think you got a really solid boot there as well. But out of the box, I think the ring doesn't really need to be touched, and the helmet either. Health, speed, attack, crit rate for the helmet, and you got defense, speed, crit rate, crit damage. Those two are like you roll it, you just max it, and hopefully you high roll, and that's all you care about. The side story, episode, the dating sim, quote unquote, week 2. I'm gonna skip this because I don't really want to talk about it. You guys know my style, you guys know what is important to me. It's always PvP, something to do with PvP. Okay, so we got two raid ups. Okay, so Ray, pretty funny time to come back. Doctor's Bag, still a trash artifact. But yeah, I mean, do you use Ray? Maybe. I know that people built Ray, Kitty Clarissa, and stuff like that to deal with the debuffers in RTA. We got ML Lilibet, which I'll talk about in a bit as a little sum up, but I would definitely skip both. We have confirmation that Guilty Gear is coming back in April, but apparently it might be different. I don't know what that means. Is like different side story, maybe they're expanding on the story, maybe there's a new hero, but regardless, Alpha should be coming back, and Ms. Confile, which is very, 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 very good. Must have. I mean, I said that before when she came out the first time, but we only had 1 week and everyone got debated with Dizzy. So feels bad, man. But at least it's coming back, and hopefully there's a new hero, maybe a new artifact. We'll see what happens there, but definitely save it. We have a confirmation of the Guilty Gear, but then a new collab with a new famous IP. I'm saying that with like air quotes, famous IP in June. So this spring summer is gonna be expensive with the potential of these RGB heroes coming out, which I gotta say, the new hero Edda, maybe I'll make a initial thoughts video on her. I'm not too really inspired by her. I feel like a lot of other heroes kind of fulfill her role. She's not really unique to me, not like Politis. Regardless, I mean, if you keep that in mind as well, if you're missing the Guilty Gear units, maybe you don't pull for her either, but I'll give my summary there. Designed a little bit, I did make a full-fledged video on her, so if you haven't checked it out, none of my big thoughts on her has really changed since I made the initial thoughts. I think she's very solid. I think she's definitely really necessary. Again, I don't think that she should be seen as like a full cleanser site type of hero solution. But regardless, I mean, defense scaling hero and can do some damage and can cleanse and can team-wide support. Those are the criteria that makes a hero really good in this meta. Able to do AoE, able to like I said, bring some team-wide support, and then able to cut. So in terms of like, if you can give her some sort of self-sustain, I know in the initial thoughts video, the only thing that's changed really is the lifesteal set theory craft that I had for her. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be enough. I did the damage calculation, and it's not going to be too much damage. Even if you pump up like, you know, 2k defense, like 280 crit damage, let's say you have Draco plate on for more critical hit damage, but you're on lifesteal with like decent amount of attack too, and an AoE, you get back maybe 1,500 health. Not too much. It's not too much. So I think a potentially better theory craft, if you're going to go for the self-sustaining type, and this obviously will take a bit more testing, but in terms of damage calculation, Sigurd Scythe would be a better choice. So you don't have to go lifesteal set, you could go something else, but go Sigurd Scythe. Since it's high defense, so it's going to be hard to one-shot unless it's defense penetration, and then you have kind of like more HP, or sorry, lower HP compared to defense, but then once you get the Sigurd Scythe proc, you might be able to heal back more. So in terms of getting back more effective HP, the Sigurd Scythe might be the way to go. In terms of, let's say, you know, if you don't think about her going against the F10, Cerise, or whatever, high debuff heroes, if you don't think about that and you just think about, let's say, Design a Little Bit versus Ambitious Tywin, one-on-one fight in RTA, she'll win Ambitious Tywin every single time, because Ambitious Tywin keeps provoking, but she'll start gaining stacks, so she'll eventually CR cut, and then if Ambitious Tywin wants to use the stun and speed down, again, over time, she self cleanses. She can also reset his cooldown a bit, and if you have the self-sustain, like I said, with Sigurd Scythe, it's going to be easy one-on-one versus a bruiser like ML Tywin, F Maya, etc, unless of course they have some sort of lifesteal capability, which I highly doubt. But there are people, I won't name who, there are people running a lifesteal set F Maya, kind of the same way that I'm thinking about Design a Little Bit. But remember that she does not have Elbrus, so Warrior, I think Sigurd Scythe would be a really good one. Man, I really want Sigurd Scythe to be back into the powder shop, man. Ravi right now needs it so much. Other heroes really, seeing Sigurd Scythe really coming back, especially in RTA. Yeah, so the skills I'm not going to go to. Anyways, watch the full-fledged video if you want my full thoughts on all the skills. Again, like I said, if you kind of think about her as a cleanser, she's going to be very niche. If you think about her as more of like a DPS that has cleansing ability, you're going to see her a lot more used in RTA, maybe even Guild War. Guild War season closing this Saturday, so this weekend. Finally, this feels like a really long season with not much. I don't know, man. I think different players at different ranks in Guild War will have different feelings about this. But man, I don't know, man. I feel this is why, like, you know, top guilds like Veritas and stuff like that in the past, they're like all casual now. I don't blame them. It's not like the guild I'm in, Iggy, tries hard, but it's just like, it's so stale, man. It's so stale. I know, I get it, man. Smilegate, you don't want to work on Guild War because RTA is everything, and you know, with the $30,000 or $50,000 USD tournament coming, it's very clear where you have your heart at. But I get it, but man, please, like, give just like a bit more incentive in Guild War, at least spice things up a bit. Man, it's so boring. It's so boring. I can't even man, every single season is 1 to 2 meta defense comp, and then you figure out how to beat it. I don't know. I'm rolling my eyes. Everything else is great. Everything else that we talked about is great. Guild War seasons, man. Dang, why is it even there? But guilds are very essential in the game, though. Guilds are very essential. It is that core group of friends that you could joke with. And this is, I would say, man, Guild War, because of guilds, it's really what keeps people in the game, more or less, in these kind of pods that we have, and then maybe sometimes the shared pods between guilds, you know, guilds and guilds, they can become friends and stuff. In my opinion, that is really it. But if they can improve the feature, you know, double thumbs up, man. The day they do that, make a freaking 30-minute video just on that. Improvement on expedition. So currently the time before berserk is 12 turns. Now it's gonna change to 7. Effectiveness and effect resistance levels are now reduced to 100. That's very, very big, actually. That's always usually the hardest thing people will need to hit in terms of the build. So in terms of that requirement, it's much lower now. Very nice. Health is also at 1.8 million. So the 7 turns actually doesn't really matter. 12 turns, 7 turns, 5 turn difference is huge. I get it, but the amount of HP, and with now people being able to dole out that damage quicker, especially at least what I'm experiencing in the circles I'm in, this is a good change. Very, very good. There's talks, not on this patch note, but there are talks about them expanding the amount of friends that can hit the expeditions too. So right now we have 6 max. It could be 8, it could be 10, but regardless, once you add like 2 to 4, you know, extra players that can hit it, this is easy cakewalk. So again, back to that point of the Expedition 2, Expedition 3, it shouldn't be too hard. The boss adjustment specifically only for the Hopeless Symmachus, the ice one, and then the snap. So we don't have the ice one right now, but they are nerfing it. 28% attack reduced and 22 defense reduced, huge amounts. And the Blooming Snag Lich, so the green, so the golem one, 15% attack and 18% defense reduced. So both very, very big. So they kept the Ferris, the fire one, untouched in terms of the damage, which I think is okay because that one is supposedly the easiest one. Most people have figured that one out already. Dark 3, not a really big problem right now. A lot of people have figured out the auto team for it too, so I think that's great. Those changes are good. Reward adjustment. Oh, level 3 has a chance to obtain lesser or greater. Yeah, so I mean, if you're gonna get lessers here, you gotta do level 3, man. You really gotta do level 3. Dang, I actually thought it was just greater. The rewards we added random stated expedition levels, and then yeah, so some new adjustments in the future as well. I think I missed it in terms of the note, but they are adding the selectable chest that you could get once a month into the rewards for expedition. So within the reward tree that you get, you know, now you can get Mola, get the gold sky stone at the end. They're gonna add a selectable chest to get the modification gem, so definitely keep that in mind. That would be next month. So 1 month of Substat Reroll, and the next month they'll improve on that system. Others, this is important. Japanese media voice pack. Guess what? Landy gets one, which is cool. I do want to hear it. I use Landy a lot. But then Arshiman's Shadow. So no longer none of that, you know, once you face to me, you'll become darkness yourself. None of that stuff anymore. Yes! 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 Japanese media pack will be continuously updated. The other ones, I mean, I don't care. I never heard of Lucy's voice yet. Zelda Carmine Rose. I don't have Flan. Yeah. So Prologue. Let's see if there's anything else. This is good too. I want to talk about this. So I always like the little UI stuff. I know it's always shoved in the bottom because no one really cares usually. I love it. I love this stuff. You guys know I'm nerd out for this stuff. This is a huge improvement. So basically, the too long didn't read version of this is that before, let's say you had health substat in that first slot here, as you see in the left side image, you had health substat. You weren't able to make the health substat on the second one where the crit substat is until you turned it off completely, which was really annoying. So let's say, for example, I was looking at, let's say, yeah, he has swords here. I was looking at speed. I was looking for speed and then crit, and then realized, okay, maybe I want, you know, health and then crit. I wouldn't be able to, or not health, maybe speed and crit, and then maybe speed and then health. I wouldn't be able to swap it like right away. I'd have to turn off the original substat, but now it actually just swaps. Anyways, you might not understand what I'm talking about here. I know it because in terms of my muscle memory, there's always that little kind of blocker. I highly doubt anyone listening to this actually even noticed that or even cared about it, but this is good. This is good. Regardless, this is going to make the experience more streamlined, so I'm very happy. This is kind of new, viewing equipment detail, be able to preview the equipment right away. That's kind of cool. In my opinion, not necessary. The what do you call it, interactable, like if you hold on to the, like tap and hold or click and hold, depends if you use emulator, onto the gear and you already show the substat. In my opinion, that's already good enough. So I don't know if you need to surface that kind of stuff from like the level 1, from the first level, and then but waste the UI space. I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's not a bad thing, but I don't know if that's necessary. The system is already really intuitive that they have. Anything else? I don't think so. I think I remember that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Yeah, Epic Pass. A new Epic Pass for the Violet skin is coming soon. It's not. I guess it's not in this patch, so it'll probably come next week in terms of the patch notes. Anyway, so that's it for this one. It ended up being pretty long, man. Dang, I didn't mean to do that, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Where you think they can improve stuff. In my opinion, I think the system they have developed is going to be good. It's going to be good enough for the next level of power creep, but not super overpowered that, you know, we're going to see, you know, unobtainable stuff from, let's say, mid-game players. Eventually, you're all going to get it, guys. So just be patient and keep on farming. I'm gonna end this for the video recording. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next on the next RBTL.